I'm Jeff Philbin, and this is Dinner DeeAs. Today, a top chef's secrets to the perfect pasta as we crack open some lobster tails and make a salad dressing to die for. This is the show where we take great ideas for dinner and turn them into Dinner DeeAs. And today we're joined by Chef Tyson Grant from Parkshire Grill on Beach Drive in St. Pete. Lobster pasta. My friend, is this something only award-winning chefs like yourself can tackle?
Absolutely not, no.
Nice. So anyone at home could be making a dish like this?
It's very simple.
So how do we start this dish?
So first you need lobster. And we, at the restaurant, use it straight out of the tail.
Okay.
So we'll cut it open, we'll show you how to break that down, and then we'll get it in the pan.
I love it. So, you know, so many people are going to be thinking that you need to boil a lobster, you need to bake a lobster, because that's how they kind of work with lobster. But you're saying you can go straight into it, just get the meat going.
Absolutely, yeah. This is, you know, this is about a 6 to 7 ounce North Atlantic tail.
Okay.
And you can get them in your freezer section of your grocery store. And yeah, let me show you how to do it.
I love to see it.
Let's do it. So we like to crack it on the sides like that. It kind of loosens up the meat a little bit.
Okay.
Then you go straight into the back that way. And then once that way.
Is it to use a good knife for something like this?
Well, I mean, lobster, you don't want to get your best knife out because you're going to be going through shell, but you know, a serrated knife would work as well.
Okay.
So, or a cleaver.
Okay.
But not one that you're going to want to use for cutting vegetables and these types of things. So
sure.
So the meat just pulls out nice and easy like that. You can use the shells, save them in your freezer. You can make a nice lobster stock.
Okay.
For a lobster bisque or soup, and then so there's your lobster meat, and a little bit goes a long way on lobster. So we cut it up little pieces and cooks quicker.
Now, how are you cutting this into? What size are we looking for?
You want a bite-sized pieces, so you know, a little bit inch by an inch.
Okay.
So it doesn't have to be perfect because it's all going to go into a pasta dish and a nice rich cream sauce. So that's about it right there.
I mean, like, this sounds so decadent. This is like truly like for date night. This is for like the husband or the wife to say, hey, I got this covered. I mean, lobster just for so many is like that treat for themselves. I mean, this looks like it's a treat.
It is rich, it's indulgent, but the cool thing is it's really, really fast to prepare.
Okay.
You don't need to think a lot in advance. You know, you got your ingredients. It's very basic. We have a little tomato, little shallot, oil, fresh tarragon, little tomato paste. I'm
loving it. So let's start cooking. What's next?
All right, so we're gonna get the pan on hot, and we'll just get the oil in there. A couple of tablespoons of olive oil.
Okay.
You can use a light oil. You can use butter if you wish.
Okay.
Little shallot to start. And
now, shallot-wise, what are we putting in there? How much?
that's about a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons.
Okay.
Depending on how you're making. This dish, this will probably feed 2 people.
Okay.
You know, it's a 6, 7 ounce tail, so you're gonna get about 5 ounces of meat out of the lobster.
I love it. This is where you drop the kids off at, you know, grandma and grandpa's house. Mom and dad stay home.
That's
or,
right.
you know, you just do your thing with your
That's right.
significant other and just get down with some lobster.
Absolutely. So get the lobster in there cooking, and then we can take the tarragon. You can use dry tarragon if you wish.
Okay.
But I like to do fresh if we're doing it.
What would be the difference between the flavor of dry tarragon to fresh tarragon?
Fresh tarragon is going to be a little bit more, it's going to have that level of freshness, but both of them, it's very an anisette flavor.
Okay.
And dry tarragon, you're going to want to cook for a little bit longer.
Okay.
So you'll get the flavors out of the fresh tarragon.
Could that
faster.
mess up, if you do the dry tarragon, could that mess up the whole cooking process against the lobster?
Not at all.
No, okay.
So if I was cooking with dried tarragon, I'd probably put the tarragon in now.
Okay.
You know?
So that way then it had a little bit more time to really kind of cook.
With fresh tarragon, you're going to want to finish the dish with the fresh tarragon.
Okay.
So.
That's almost like a rule of thought when you're working with fresh herbs. It almost goes in at the end.
That's right.
With a fresh herb. Okay. Mm-hmm. I mean, the shallots already are starting to really kind of cook up a little bit, and you can start smelling that inside here, which is really, really nice.
Always want to season it, build your flavors as you go. So
okay.
Season your, and then we're going to do a little tomato
And that was just
paste.
a little bit of salt you just added.
Just a little bit of salt and white pepper mix. So.
A white pepper mix, okay.
And then we just take a little bit
What's the blend then for that, for if you're doing the salt and pepper mix there?
A white pepper's really strong, and fine ground white pepper, so it'll probably be like 5 to 1 salt to white pepper.
Okay. And then this is what? Just a little bit of tomato
A little bit
paste?
of tomato paste.
And how much did you just put in there? About
Tablespoon.
a tablespoon there again. Okay.
Yep. So your lobster's already almost cooked.
Oh, I love
all the
it.
way.
The lobster's coming along. I gotta get this Chef Jeff cam here because you may be one of the most decorated chefs in all of the Tampa Bay area. You have more awards than anyone else on Beach Drive, but you don't have the Chef Jeff cam, my friend. And so let's go see what's happening here because that tomato paste is being incorporated now with all that lobster meat. The shallots are really starting to take on a nice little translucent color, as you can see here.
So
Look
you
at
really
that.
want to cook your tomato paste, kind of gets the flavor out of the tomatoes. If you just put it in there at the end, it would be like a raw tomato. So we're actually getting a little flavor out of that.
Okay.
Tomato paste is a really important part of the dish. And then what makes it, it's a classic, is a vodka sauce.
Is the vodka sauce.
So
okay.
Gotta have a little vodka in there. So.
I dig it. Candy is dandy, but liquor is quicker, apparently, is what they say. So walk us through this part, because people might be intimidated when they think of alcohol and heat.
Well, if you have a gas stove, open flame, you're gonna want to take the pan off.
Okay.
Add the vodka.
Yeah, because we are using just a cooktop surface here, but with anyone that is using gas, it is about safety. So
Exactly. So you
now,
cook
what
that.
is happening there? I mean, it looks as though that the liquid is starting to evaporate out. I'm starting to see it steam off.
We're cooking the alcohol off.
Okay.
You know, so if you put vodka in and keep it warm, it's going to taste like hot vodka. Nobody likes that.
Yeah.
But you cook the alcohol off, and it'll leave a nice sweet flavor.
Okay.
And bring the dish together. You could use a white wine if you wish. If you didn't
Okay.
have vodka, that'd be okay.
Now,
if you didn't
is
want to
any
have booze,
vodka okay?
any vodka's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Then the good part, rich heavy cream.
Now, if someone just wanted to use the rich heavy cream instead of adding vodka or the wine to it there, they could, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So this is a customizable menu item recipe here that we can be able to play with.
Exactly. A cup of heavy cream.
Okay.
And so this will kind of like all get happy and it'll start reducing. It's going to take a minute to reduce, and you'll start seeing it get thicker. You know, the bubbles will get a little bit, thicker, and nice rich sauce. It'll all come together, and we'll adjust the seasonings, add the tarragon, and that'll be the dish.
I love it because you can find Chef Tyson's full recipe and all the recipes from our show on the website. Scan the QR code from your phone, right up on the screen, takes you right there to go to dinnerdeas.com. Now, you're already starting to go into the tasting piece of it all. What are you tasting for at that one?
So salinity. So you want to make sure you get the right salt. You know it's going to reduce, so it's going to get more intense. So
Okay.
you don't want it too much. So just want to make sure all the flavors are there. There's enough tomato. There's enough salt and pepper, and that's it.
I love it. I love it. Because while our sauce simmers, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, you can toss those bottles of salad dressings away because we're going to make our own fresh, simple vinaigrette. Welcome back to Dinner Diaz, ideas for dinner that you can make tonight. Chef Tyson Grant is here from Park Shore Grill on the St. Pete's Beach Drive. And before the break, we cracked open the crustacean for our lobster pasta. And while it was simmering away, we need to add a few more things, though, it looks like.
Yeah, we're going to finish it up with the fresh ingredients. So we'll add the fresh tarragon at the end, and this is just about ready. And then we'll add some fresh tomato.
I love it.
That we'll add a little bit of brightness and freshen the dish up a little bit.
And how much tomatoes are going in here?
It's up to you. You really like fresh tomatoes in your pasta, go to town, add enough for two, maybe a cup total of diced tomato.
Okay, a cup diced tomato.
And then,
it's just going to play really well with that tomato paste.
Right. Just going to add a little bit of freshness and lightness to the dish because it is real rich.
I dig. And this is a dish here that is like totally for dropping the kids off, having mom and dad having that date night. And, one of the things about date night that's always so special is being able to celebrate the time. And being able to celebrate that time is through the joy of being with people and having opportunities to connect. Salad
That's right.
is a good starting point because you get an extra course out of it. So I see everything going on here, but I'm kind of getting a little lost. What are we doing here?
So I want to bring this on because vinaigrette is probably one of the simplest things to make, right? It's 1 part vinegar or acid, lemon juice, whatever it is.
Sure.
3 parts oil, whatever kind of oil you want, whatever
Okay.
kind of vinegar you want, whatever kind of acid. I always like to add, in classic French vinaigrette, they do start with a little bit of Dijon. Kind of helps with emulsification, which kind of brings the whole vinaigrette together.
Okay.
I like to add a little garlic, so I like it sharp. You don't have to add garlic, but when I do, easiest way to chop garlic is just take it on a microplane.
Okay.
And
Now, a microplane sounds like it's a toy for us, but maybe not for so many people. But this is something that everyone at home could be having, should be having, right?
Absolutely. Should not be threatened by it at all. It's a very easy way to mince garlic and to get into dressings, to sauces, things like that. So that's about it.
Now, does it change the flavor profile when you're using a microplane as if you were to chop it into the different size that's coming through?
I mean, it's going to be a lot more palatable, I think. If
Okay.
you're trying to chop garlic for a salad dressing, you're going to have garlic chunks.
You're going to have a bite of it.
And that's okay. Some people like that, but
Sure.
but I think if you get in there with the
See, that's the store-bought stuff. That's where you're going to be tasting that. But this
That's right.
is something that an award-winning chef like yourself is trying to teach us how to do, because you don't need to go to the store to get something like this.
Absolutely not.
This is the process. This is the timepiece that we're talking about.
This is it.
of
And you
being
can,
around
get,
your loved
you can
ones.
get creative, If you like balsamic vinegar, use balsamic. If
Okay.
you like red wine vinegar, use red wine, sherry vinegar. I'm using a little champagne vinegar.
Now, what would
for
be
this
the
one.
difference between the champagne vinegar and the flavors against what a balsamic vinegar would be that most people would be more comfortable with?
Balsamic's a lot bolder, richer, stronger, sweeter.
Okay.
This is light and fresh. It's essentially white wine vinegar, right? But I think it's a little bit finer. So 1 part, vinegar, a little bit of garlic. Always want to season, so salt and pepper. Same thing. If you want to crack black pepper, go to town.
Okay.
Crack black pepper. I like a little lemon juice as well.
Okay.
Kind of brightens it up.
Nice.
So just a little squeeze of that. Make sure you don't get any of the seeds in there.
And this here, we're just taking about half of a lemon, it looks like?
That's it. Yep.
Okay.
Get that. And then you take your oil. You can use, this is a mixture of a canola oil and olive oil.
Okay.
I think olive was a little too strong. And then, so about 3 parts more. You'll see where it comes together. And if you like creamy dressings, at this point, you could add a little bit of sour cream or yogurt.
Okay.
And that would make a creamy vinaigrette. If you want to add fresh herbs to it, you can do that. So
What kind of
this
herbs
is-
would you add if you wanted to kind of
fresh chives, fresh parsley, things like that.
Okay.
And then you just want to taste it, make sure it's okay.
And what are you tasting for on this part?
Again, acid, salt, more garlic, not enough garlic.
Okay.
I think it needs a little bit of Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire sauce. So is that the secret ingredient then?
I like it in my salads. It's classic in Caesar dressing, so
Okay.
it'll add a little bit more umami to it.
Okay. That is a big word that a lot of folks might not know about umami. What are you tasting there when you hear that word?
That is the what do they call it? The sixth sense or whatever. It's the flavor of soy sauce, some mushrooms. It's unctuous. It makes you want to come back for more. MSG, right?
Okay.
Would be a good descriptor of that.
A good descriptor of that one. And you can find this recipe for Chef Tyson's homemade vinaigrette and the lobster pasta on our website. Scan the QR code from your phone right up on the screen. Head to dinnerdeas.com. I mean, now how are we going to kind of dress? We got the vinaigrette all made up. It smells fantastic, by the way. I mean, it really does have everything that you were just kind of tasting for. I can smell that piece. And it looks like we're going to bring out some fennel.
So fresh fennel. I love the. Again, it's going to play off the tarragon that's in the lobster pasta. Again, because it has that same anise flavor, but it's fresh, it's crisp, it's crunchy. Really adds a nice component to the dish. So
Now, we could just throw that in raw.
throw it in raw. Yeah.
Okay.
If you want to do it ahead of time, put it in some ice water. It'll even get even crispier.
Okay.
But I like to get it very fine shaved.
Now, you've got the mandolin here. Now, folks at home might be intimidated by seeing a mandolin.
Well,
Should they be?
no, I mean, it's dangerous. There is guards for it, that I suggest using if you've never used one before. It's the easiest way to get a nice fine shave on any vegetables, onions, celery, squashes, things
Okay.
of that nature.
And you got consistency, it looks like.
Exactly.
I dig that.
You want that in your salad. We'll throw a little red onion in there.
And I mean, if this is going to be for a special event and you're really trying to impress, someone for that special night with a dish like this, you want to have something that's going to be aesthetically pleasing too.
Absolutely. Aesthetically, and you also want to, when they eat the salad, they're like, it's not, they taste things in there that they normally wouldn't have in a salad, but, it's all up to you and your flavor preference.
I love that because it's such a joy to be able to see something like this one all come together because, you've been a staple in the St. Pete area for how long now?
We are going to celebrate our 17th year in November.
17th year in November. And I mean, what does it mean to see a dish like this? Now, this has been an OG, original dish.
Day one, we had lobster pasta on the menu, and it's still one of our best sellers today.
It's still one of the best sellers today, and it shows. I mean, what are some other menu items that are really popular that are just like to die for?
A classic beef Wellington, we do. You don't see that very often. Surf and turf is filet and lobster, so that's the park shore. Is filet is the park, and the shore is the lobster. That's classic surf and turf. We do a fresh preparation of fish every night. We do a 3-course tasting every night, so that's where the diversity comes in. The chefs get to play around with different ingredients.
I love it. I love it. I love seeing you get to play around with it, and I love that you all at home are going to be playing around with this recipe because when we come back, Chef Tyson Grant's perfect pasta, and spoiler, mate, it may involve butter. Welcome back to Dinner DeeAs, ideas for dinner that you can make tonight. We've been making lobster pasta with Chef Tyson Grant from Park Shore Grill out on Beach Drive in St. Pete. Before the break, we mastered the art of a homemade salad dressing. What's next?
All right, so we got our pasta cooking. It's done, actually. So we're going to bring it over to the sink here.
Okay, cool.
And get that drained.
And while you're doing that, I'm going in for a taste of this beautiful sauce here. It's so rich. The tomato paste, you get all that flavors. And what's really nice, that lobster just brings that nice little bit behind it. It's not overpowering, but it just kind of complements it. It's like, it's got this bisque-like quality almost to it.
Exactly.
I dig every bite of that. I love it.
Pasta's made. Take this, so we're taking this and we're throwing it into, we made a little compound butter.
Okay.
Shallots, tarragon, a little truffle oil, butter, and that is what the pasta gets tossed in.
Oh, I love it. I love it. You know, what's going to be really fun here is that this little bit of compound butter, you're going to have the opportunity to see this on our Instagram. You want to head over there because this is going to be some bonus content here for everybody. And let's see. So now, what's the consistency here that you're looking for? How do you know that it's going to be fully incorporated?
So we just want to make sure that all the noodles are covered in butter.
Okay.
And it kind of adds just another richness to the dish. And then we're going to go ahead and plate. Okay. So make it look nice.
I dig it. See, this is for a special occasion. We have to have finesse. You're bringing finesse to this plate here. That's what this needs.
So I mean, you could put it in a bowl and dump the sauce on top, but you know.
That's not fun. That's not showing the love and the craft of what you've just made for someone. All right, I'm gonna sneak a bite on this one here because I want to see what happens with that pasta and that butter here. There's that extra little bit of flavor.
Right.
That you just kind of need almost. Oh, this looks nice.
So we just.
And it's just kind of just dancing over there.
Yeah, it's beautiful, right? Somebody, make sure everybody gets the same amount of lobster.
Exactly. See, you got to make sure that you or your loved ones there are going to be able to kind of, share.
And there you have it. Simple lobster pasta.
Oh, absolutely incredible. Because after the break, I'm doing the hard work, so you don't have to because I'm taste testing this lobster pasta and making sure it's an idea worthy of being a dinner DeeAs. You're watching Dinner DeeAs, ideas for dinner that you can make tonight. Chef Tyson Grant from Park Shore Grill has been sharing his recipe for lobster pasta. We cracked open some lobster tails, we made a sauce from scratch, and even made up a fresh dressing for our salad. But now we gotta really get into it to see how it tastes. And I'm going straight in for this pasta because I have been dying for a little bit of that lobster. Bring it all together. A little twirl.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah. This is fantastic. You know what I love about it is that It sounds really complicated. It sounds so fancy, but it's approachable.
It is.
It's something that your skill set and finesse brought us to the masses. You brought this dish to the masses, and it's been 17 years at your recipe, and everyone at home has some of these ingredients.
Absolutely.
I mean, a Dijon mustard with the vinaigrette, tomato paste and heavy cream, lobster tail, which really is not as expensive as many people might think.
You could use chicken as well if you wanted to. I mean, chicken would work perfect in that.
I absolutely love it, and you still have the opportunity to make it your own.
Absolutely.
I think that is so cool, and I mean, this salad has also been calling my name for it there because I've been dying to see how everything kind of comes together. And you need it. You need that little bite of acidity to break down the richness that's coming through from the pasta. Dish here, oh my gosh, man. That is how you turn an idea for dinner into a dinner dia. Thanks again to Chef Tyson Grant from Park Shore Grill. If you want to make this date night dinner yourself, scan the QR code to find the recipe on our website, dinnerdias.com, and let us know how it turns out. I'm Jeff Philbin. See you next time with more Dinner Dias. Thanks for watching Dinner Dias. And remember, anytime you're hungry for a great dinner idea, just go to dinnerdias.com. That's dinner, DEEAS.com. You'll find the complete recipe featured on today's show, plus a whole list of other dinner ideas. I'm Chef Jeff Philbin. Join us next time for another delicious dinner idea, or as we like to call them, Dinner Dias.